Folks, when I saw this article, I had to share it with you. This is from Musical America. It's dated May 22nd, 1915, and it's regarding the second trip that the great French Romantic composer Camille Saint-Saens made to the United States. His first trip being in 1906. And Camille Saint-Saens lived from 1835 to 1921, saw many changes throughout his lifetime. Imagine going from writing music by candlelight or gas lamp to using electric lights, seeing the first automobile, being one of the early composers to have your music on record, writing the subway system in Paris or New York. He also witnessed the sinking of the Lusitania, the Titanic, World War I. All those things happened during his lifetime. And in fact, you can find a clip of him conducting here on YouTube. So he was one of the first composers to be on film. So the title of the article, Saint-Saens here as French envoy to the exposition. Once again, the article dated May 22nd, 1915. This is from Musical America. Famous composer shuns reporters during New York stay, but Musical America representative succeeds in viewing him as he departs for San Francisco. Has written 2 works for the exposition, Hail California and A New March. Despite his 80 years, composer stands arraigned to watch New York Naval Parade and salute the president. At that time, it was President Wilson. Camille Saint-Saens arrived in New York on the Rochambeau Wednesday morning of last week, and the veteran composer of Samson and Delilah, now in his 80th year, made a brief concerttour of this country in 1906. But his travels on that occasion did not take him as far as will the mission on which he is now bound. He will appear at the Panama Pacific Exposition in San Francisco as first delegate of the Franco-American Commission for the Development of Political, Economic, Literary, and Artistic Relations, and is also to visit Los Angeles and other coast cities during his California sojourn, which will cover a period of several months. Accompanying Saint-Saens on his ocean trip were General Havelic, Inspector General of Education in France, and Hugo Leroy, pardon my French, I don't speak French, editor of the Paris Matin. At the pier, the composer turned a deaf ear to the entreaties of newspaper reporters for a few words, spurned a prima donna because of her Germanic origin, the incident treated more fully in another column, and effusively greeted Leopold Godowsky, the pianist who was once his pupil. He declined to discuss the war, World War I, for news of the Lusitania outrage had further deepened the bitterness of his feelings toward all things German. Nor did the customs inspection contribute to the kindliness of his sentiments for the time being. On leaving the dock, he went to the Biltmore Hotel and was guest of honor that evening at a dinner given at the University Club by the Franco-American Society. In a brief after-dinner speech, the composer spoke of his appreciation of America and of his own work diplomatically, scouting all reference to the war and the French expectations of this country. The following night, Saint-Saens attended a dinner given by the Metropolitan Opera, and Godowsky and the composer Busoni were also there. Talks about his departure for the West. Saint-Saens left for the West at 5:30 Monday evening, having spent his last days in New York, paying calls regardless of the rain and watching the naval parade. During the full extent of his stay, he denied himself to newspaper men absolutely. Neither entreaties nor subterfuges could endure him to lift the ban. A representative of Musical America managed, through the kindness of Dr. Marifiotti, to spend a few minutes with him before the train left, after having been solemnly admonished not to divulge his own identity by word or deed. They say act here, but you can say word or deed. Saint-Saens walked down the platform, informing Dr. Marifiotti that he was looking forward with great expectations to his California trip, inspired by the postcards he received from friends, which showed exotic or tropical fruits, flowers, and plants. And he was to give a lecture in San Francisco. He didn't know he was going to give a lecture, but he ended up giving a lecture on ancient music. And he had to clarify, according to the article, that he was not a mathematician, but rather an astronomer. And Saint-Saens was a man of many interests: mathematics, music, archaeology, poetry, and some say the occult. So I hope you enjoyed the article. If you did, please click that like button, subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram at #JasonComposes. Leave comments below. And now you can reach me at Twitter, Culture Confederacy at Twitter. Sorry if it seemed like I stumbled through that. I tend to write these things out by hand. I know I'm stuck back in the dark ages. But I'll catch you next time. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody, and God bless this great country.